Once there was a German psychologist who dedicated her life to understanding how to handle toxic people. She was curious about whether there was a method to deal with difficult personalities effectively. Through careful study and observation, she began to see patterns and theories suggesting that dealing with toxic people wasn't just about enduring negativity, but there might be strategic ways to manage such interactions. As the psychologist delved deeper into the psychology of relationships, she discovered something important: the concept of boundaries. This idea suggests that by setting clear and firm limits, one can protect themselves from negative influences. But how does this apply to handling toxic people? She thought about whether consistently maintaining strong boundaries could reduce the impact of toxic behaviors. Driven by this idea, the psychologist explored further and came across the notion of assertive communication. This approach involves expressing oneself confidently and clearly without being aggressive. Could this technique help in dealing with difficult people? She believed that if one communicates their needs and limits assertively, it could prevent misunderstandings and reduce conflicts. Intrigued by these strategies, the psychologist examined how optimism plays a role in such scenarios. Studies showed that people who remain positive tend to manage stress better. But was it their outlook that helped them handle toxicity? Or was there more to it? She found that positive people are more likely to seek solutions and engage in healthy coping strategies, essentially shielding themselves from the worst effects of negativity. But then, does this mean those who are naturally less optimistic are doomed to suffer? Her research led her to another theory: the impact of self-awareness. While some interactions are unavoidably negative, she found that many could be managed by understanding one's own reactions and adjusting one's approach accordingly. This led her to the intriguing concept of emotional intelligence, which involves being aware of, controlling, and expressing one's emotions judiciously and empathetically. Could enhancing emotional intelligence be a key to managing relationships with toxic people? She considered whether increasing one's awareness of emotional cues could lead to better handling of challenging interactions. As she dug deeper, she realized that intuition also played a significant role in these dynamics. Intuition, often described as a gut feeling, can guide one in making decisions in complex social interactions. But was intuition just a form of subconscious emotional reading, or was there something more at play? She pondered how one could develop their intuition to better navigate toxic relationships. The psychologist's journey then took her to the realm of social support. She discovered that people who have strong support networks often cope better with negativity. But was it just about having more friends? Or was there a specific way to engage with one's network to buffer against toxic influences? She realized that the quality of these interactions might be as crucial as their quantity. Her research also led her to the concept of proactive avoidance. She found that people often considered skilled at handling toxicity are those who can foresee potential conflicts and avoid them strategically. She explored how understanding and anticipating problematic behaviors could lead to better outcomes, potentially reducing the stress of dealing with difficult people. Finally, the psychologist studied the power of self-care. She learned that well-being often comes to those who take good care of themselves, enabling them to stay resilient in tough situations. But how does one prepare for challenging interactions? She found that continuous personal development and self-care were key factors in maintaining one's health and composure. As the psychologist pieced together her findings, a clear picture of the science of dealing with toxic people began to emerge. It wasn't just about enduring or avoiding negativity. It involved a complex interplay of personal strategies and external supports. But could this knowledge be practically applied to improve one's interactions? She decided to test her theories in real life, starting with herself. She applied the principles she had uncovered: maintaining boundaries, practicing assertive communication, staying optimistic, building emotional intelligence, supporting oneself, and avoiding unnecessary conflicts. To her delight, she began to notice changes. Interactions that would have previously drained her now seemed more manageable, and her network provided helpful advice and support.